Man, now that you mentioned that, it was one show leading to another. Like I said, I officially said I'm a comedian in 2005.
Right.
Fast forward 2006. Keep in mind, this whole time I'm thinking my comedy name is just going to be Jermaine or Jermaine Johnson. But every time I Google Jermaine Johnson, soccer player popped up, and Jermaine Jackson popped up. I was like, boom. So I created my MySpace page, and I was like, all right, I need something that says I'm a comedian, but I want my name Jermaine in it. That's where Funnymaine comes from.
Yeah.
It was only supposed to be myspace.com/Funnymaine. That's all it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Fast forward 2006, my frat brothers at UA had a step show for Iron Bowl week, and they asked me to host. And if anybody ever finds this tape, it's going to validate what I'm about to say. My frat brother Kyle introduced me and said, y'all give it up for your host, Funnymaine. Keep in mind, that's not my name. I literally came on stage pissed off. Like, why would you introduce me as Funnymaine, dog? That's not my name.
Yeah.
I know that tape exists somewhere. A friend from Mississippi State and a friend from UAB were at the Iron Bowl show. Mm-hmm. So after the Iron Bowl show, I got to host Blue and White Week at Mississippi State. Mm-hmm. And I also got to do Camille Armstrong 2007 at UAB. The UAB show was the catalyst that jumped my career off because I had a little dance for the crowd. We was just rocking. It was like a big party.
Yeah.
And they had a contract with Bright House. I don't know if Bright House cable's still around.
I don't think so.
But they showed the show like on cable every day. Really? This went on for months. People would be tweeting and Facebook messaging me like, bro, I see you on the, no, you know, it's 2000, I ain't even have Twitter yet. But Facebook, they like, man, I see you on TV. Like, oh, you doing a good job. And it just kept growing. Now Troy University is calling. Now, you know, the university wants me. Yeah. Everybody like, all right, we want just got a host. But it was all from that UAB show and doing a dance off the rich boy, throw some D's, and them just showing it over and over. And everybody like, that's the guy we want to host. Yeah. And I was working.
So, okay, so you were able to start making some money, traveling across the state, going to different colleges and universities. And then, was it like 2011 that you started working at Jams? So I feel like there was a transition between like Buck Wild and Roy, if I remember correctly. It was.
Let me tell you, from the Camille show, the same UAB show, Mary Kay was one of the judges. Oh. So she was the program director at the time.
Shout out to Mary Kay.
Man, shout out my dog, Mary Kay. So Mary Kay, after the Camille show, she asked me to come on and do something for the morning show. Mm-hmm. Again, like I said earlier, it's good that nobody knows you. I was terrible. They had me in there with Buck Wild, Ebony, and B Money. Mm-hmm. I couldn't. My timing wasn't good. Yeah. They were all legends, you know, like they've been at it. And I ain't know what to say
because radio is so quick, especially morning radio.
Dude, I just remember Buck. He couldn't take it no more. When we went to a commercial break, he pulled me out my chair, put me in the next room. He's like, "Hey, listen. Here's a tape of you. Listen to yourself." Listen how terrible you sound. You're not doing good, but sit in here, listen, and then come back in. I was like, wow. And I remember the exact day he did that in 2007 because I went to my car downstairs, took a nap, damn near cried myself to sleep.
Oh, so this is 07.
07.
Okay.
And when I woke up that day, when I woke up in the car after like an hour nap, everybody was talking about the Virginia Tech shooting. So whatever day that was the day, like, pretty much my last day on radio. I just remember sitting in the car like, what the heck happened at Virginia Tech? Like 30 people got shot. It was that same day, crazy day. Drove to Tuscaloosa, never returned to the radio because Buck had just hurt my feelings. Came back when Roy left 2012. They asked me if they were shuffling people out, like, seeing who would fit. They asked me if I wanted to come, and I was like, all right.
I thought you were on the show when Roy was there.
I was in and out.
Okay.
I was like a guest appearance.
Because you were the one. I was a student at this point. I transferred to Tuskegee, so it was like 2012. And I think I remember on Twitter you talking about that email that you all accidentally got on the morning show and read live on air, where you guys kind of found out that the show was over.
That was 2012.
Right.
Yeah, that was when I came back, and they decided to make me full time because now I know how to tell the jokes. I've been doing comedy for a few years. I was like, y'all ain't gonna send me to the car taking a nap this time. I'm on y'all ass this time.
Yeah.
And came back with that confidence, and they was like, yeah, this fits. Yeah, and then they talked about the email thing. We'll have to talk about that on another show.
No, we got to talk about that now. This is the time.
I probably can't legally talk about that. I'm not even joking. I can't.
There's an NDA that you guys signed from 10 years ago?
Dude.
It's 2013.
Dude.
I need you to look at that contract and let me know, because I want to talk about that.
We'll have to talk about it at some point.
We'll make that really part 2.
No, we'll make it part 2.
Okay.
I'll come back. So that's our teaser for part 2 when I come back.
Teaser for part 2.
But yeah, after that, they made some changes. The changes was they were moving. They were bringing in Ricky Smiley. So they brought in Ricky in 2013 to be the morning show.
And that was when he was first starting to get syndication, from what I remember.
No, he was already syndicated,
Okay.
but he was just coming back to Birmingham.
Okay.
So, of course, with him getting the morning show.
When you say coming back to Birmingham, do you mean like physically here, or he was getting syndicated in Birmingham?
Right. He was coming back on air. Everybody here had Tom, and they didn't want to, they always wanted the hip-hop station to have a local show.
Right.
That's what they had. But
right.
They brought in Ricky. So, of course, the morning show gets disbanded. We're like, okay, what the heck about to go on?
Yeah.
And then I didn't even know it, but I became like the number 1 draft pick. Because apparently I was pretty funny on the morning show. So, New York got moved to
afternoons.
Midday.
Middays, yeah.
Dwight got moved to afternoon, and Deal got the night spot.
Right.
Which means Homie was out, and then Mary Kay was out.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, they done gave them shows. I'm clearly out.
Yeah.
But they was like, everybody was trying to get me on their show.
Right.
New York was like, I want Maine on my show, because we do the we used to do the rap battle, our character thing.
I think I remember that.
Odell and whoever, Oda May. And Dwight was like, nah, I want him on my show. We got chemistry. And Deal was like, no, he can bring him on late night. I was like, wait, everybody actually want me up here? So I was like, I talked to some people, and they was like, bro, go to afternoon drive. That's where most of the numbers are.
It's true, yeah.
And I was like, okay, that makes sense. Me
Yeah.
and Dwight did our thing. We hit it off. We did that for...
Y'all did that for a minute.
6-7 years.
Yeah.
Number 1.
Yeah.
We was beating Feinbaum.
Yeah.
And we was on it.
Yeah.
To give me 5 to 6 days, all that. And so it was just a good decision, man. It was a good time.
Okay, if we're gonna, I have a lot that I want to talk to you about radio specifically.
Sure.
But if you're saying that if you're gonna give me a part 2, we can save all that for part 2. Because I feel like there's a lot that we could talk about when it comes to radio.
Yeah, we'll do radio stuff part 2.
Okay.
So I want to make sure I don't, you work for them people, man. You know how they is up at Summit.
Which is why I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
I don't work there no more.
Me either, but I ain't finna get no letter either.
Yeah, letter saying what?
They know I got good credit now. They might try to come get me, bro.
We'll say the radio stuff for next time, because I feel like we both have some stuff that we could talk about. I'm not in there no more either. Yeah. But you have a lot more clout under your name when it comes to the Jams brand. So maybe I would say you were probably one of the last legacy acts that came from Jams, because New York has left, and the only person that's still there is Deal. There's 2 more new people there, but I just and this is part of what I wanted to talk about when we do our part 2, whenever that may be. It's just the state of radio and where it is today, and what just the business aspect of it. But we'll say that for part 2. This is the teaser here. So okay, so you're starting to do these. So you're at jams. You're doing these videos. They're going viral. You're starting to get a lot of attention. You're starting to get collaborations with bigger brands. You're starting to work with the SEC. You're starting to get a lot of traction with other just like sports affiliates, brands, networks, etc. What has happened? Like, how are you handling this transition? Because I know the one thing that I hear a lot of people say is like being famous or just being thrust into fame, even though you say you don't consider yourself famous, there is a bigger spotlight on you, and a lot of people will say that it's just
definitely
not
a bigger platform.
It's not normal to transition to that. It's a lot that happens. It could be almost traumatizing in a way if you're not really ready for that. So what was happening for you?
I agree, but see, my mind has always been on just working. Like I'm always trying to maximize what I have and what talents I have. So I never would just rest and be like, I've arrived. That's never gonna be me, and that's how it was then. I transitioned pretty easily. It was the people around me and some family members and so-called friends and the bosses at Summit that didn't transition well.
Yeah.
The biggest incident I had at Summit.
We saving that part too.
No, I got to tell this because you asked this question. This part I could tell. I said the word no, and apparently
to what? Because they don't. For people who don't know, they will look at you like, "How dare you tell us no about anything?" They can say, "We're going to pay you $5 an hour."
That's what happened
to work.
Dude,
50 hours a week, and you say no because I want a more livable wage, and they look at you like, how dare you?
Full disclosure, when I signed my contract at Jams, I was making $30,000. I believe at one point I got bumped up to $35,000.
What year was this?
15 to when I left in 19.
You were getting paid $30 the whole time?
Mm-hmm. But they add on like, you get a ratings bonus, you get, your bonus for doing appearances, all that. But it was working for me. Like I said, that just
made me mad.
I'm just working. But here it is. When the video started and now I'm traveling and doing shows, I got a check one weekend for $33,000 for doing shows. So like I just made my whole salary in a weekend. And I forget who our one of our sales reps was for Tuscaloosa. Nice little white lady. I had no problem with her. But she booked me to go down to the soup store in Tuscaloosa, just do a remote. So I'm like, all right, I gotta.
And for people who don't know, remotes for you probably were getting paid what, $300?
No, I think it was like 25, maybe 25 or $75. It wasn't a lot.
Lying.
I'm not lying.
I thought personalities got paid a higher rate.
No. Only thing is they ask you to do more of them so you can add more to your check. No, it's not a lot. There might have been some, like a club thing where you might have got 300 or something, but like the radio remotes, no, they weren't paying a lot like that.
I thought they were paying like $100 minimum.
Follow the story.
Okay.
She asked me to go down to the soup store, just do the regular stuff. Hey, come on down, check out the stuff. But when we get there, all these kids and parents are noticing me from the videos. So they want to take pictures and all of this.
They're not paying attention to the brand that you're supposed to be highlighting at this remote.
She started grabbing people off the streets. Hey, y'all, Funnymaine is over here. I'm like, oh, okay, this feel like I'm getting pimped out because the soup store ain't paying me that much. So we get back, had a good time. We get back to the office, and she was like, well, we got another remote coming up at the soup store in like a week, and it pays the regular thing. I said, no.
You didn't show me what my worth is. Yeah.
Then she sent another email, and I was like, no, we'll have to renegotiate. Sends another email. Now she got CC'd 2 more people on it. Now John is under everybody.
The VP of program and the VP of promotion, everybody.
Now I'm in the meeting. All the guys, all the suits.
Why you telling us no?
That's basically what they were saying. Like, Jermaine, we signed for us to go down there. You've been doing these. Why are you saying no? I said, listen,
And then I'm the person to be like, so I'm looking at my contract. I don't see anything in here that says I'm required to go to.
You must have been into me because that's what I said. Listen, I'm not required to go down there. Like, and it just feel like y'all trying to make me, but you can't make me. The answer is no. I literally told them. After that, man, everything changed.
Yeah.
They
started putting you under a spotlight. Everything was a problem.
Oh, my God,
everything
bro.
was a problem. I already know. I already know the game.
Every freaking little thing.
But they couldn't fire you because you had the ratings.
And not only that, Dwight was out of town. So I was
they
like,
needed somebody to do the.
I had to work the board. I had to do all the interviews, the production, everything.
But what year was that?
This was about
2017?
18. Going into 19. It got so bad by 19, and it was one last incident where I was like, you know what?
Let me go on and get up out of here.
I'm out, man.
Out. You know what? Okay, so, I came back summer 2018.
Yeah.
And I noticed, first of all, just okay, so for context, I came and interned for on and off for about a year between 2014 and 2015. So it had, I think, became Summit in the last couple of years. It transitioned from Cox
to
Summit.
When the owners moved to Birmingham.
Yeah, so there was a slight shift in the culture from what I understand based on the people who came before me, but there was still some of that Cox energy that I heard was really vibrant before it became Summit. And then when I came back in 2018, it felt like a completely different place. And I remember even in talking with you, you just had this energy like you was fed up all the time. And I was just like, what is going on? Like, because I'm coming in hoping that things were going to feel and be the way that it was when I was there 4 years prior. And it was just completely different. And I was just wanting you to tell me the real. And you was just like, it was very clear that you was coming there to do what you had to do and get on up out of there and go make your money elsewhere.
That's it.
And I wasn't mad at it. I was just like, why ain't nobody telling me? I felt so out of the dark.
The difference that you felt when they switched from Cox, I forget the year. It had to be like,
I think it was like
15,
2012 when they switched from Cox to Summit.
Yeah. So when they moved from the 10th floor downtown to 280, they were still under Cox. But one of the only owners, Dave Dubose, he moved everything out there to the studio where he was living out there. And his kid was at Briarwood Christian, which was down the street. And I don't think it was till maybe the owners probably came in. They was like, why did we move way out here? And he probably gave them some reason, but they eventually voted him out. And so he was no longer on. He doing his thing in Tuscaloosa. Yeah. And so, but they're stuck in the contract out there. Okay. I don't think they were ever happy about it. No. And then in that transition, Cox decided to drop them as a station, but they still, it was still a monetary asset. All of the owners, or most of the owners, moved to Birmingham to run and create Summit Media. So the reason you felt that change was because they weren't
more corporate.
No, now it's their money. Oh. Summit is their money. With Cox, it was house money. Gotcha. Like we can play with, but now, hell no, this is our money. We got to be in the building. We got to see every little penny, and it got strict. So that's why the vibe changed.
Gotcha. That makes sense. I want that part too for the rest of this radio talk, because like I said, I think we could go on for a minute. So let's talk about what happened in 2020.